Alright, hello folks. It's me back here at the easel. It's Saturday, it's kind of gloomy outside, so I thought I would paint something appropriate maybe. But it's also a neat little idea. I'm going to use two colors. You know I like those two color paintings. I have titanium white and Van Dyke brown. That's the only two colors I should need for this painting. And, you know, it's going to be a almost a sepia tone painting that we'll make out of it. Alright, let's get started. Alright, I am going to grab a 2-inch, I believe. Yep, let's just grab a 2-inch brush and we'll get a little color on it, the brown. We're going to get the brown on it. Okay, load up some of that brown, and we're just going to start putting some here. Maybe we'll just go all the way across. All the way across. And we'll lay it in, and then we'll darken it up. And just put it all over here. Like that. And let it get really light down towards the middle. If we wanted to, we could throw a little bit down here too. Somewhere a little bit below halfway. That'll just clean the brush off a little bit too for us. Alright, maybe just a touch more. Maybe just a touch more. Let's see what we got. I want to make a big old tree. I'm in the mood for a tree. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. Something like that. We can even, if we wanted to, just use this brush and throw in a little cloudy shape or something. Just kind of on the corner. Just circles. Circle, circle, circle. Something like that. Almost looks like a Wizard of Oz or something here. You know, before they got to the color part of the Wizard of Oz. There we go. There's a nice little sky. And then let's just clean our brush off again. And I really don't know. I've painted something similar to this, but I don't really, it's been a while. So I don't exactly have an idea of where I'm going for sure. I've just got an inclination that I want to paint a big tree. So I'm going to start down here near the white area and kind of blend up. Just kind of soften it down a little bit. And then just some big strokes up here, because I kind of like that. And when I say big strokes, I mean it's just mainly the brush hitting the canvas, and you're using huge strokes, just like that. Okay? That don't look half bad for a gloomy painting, right? Alright, so now we're going to switch to a script liner brush, and we've got the video on here about using a script liner. If you need help with that, that may be helpful, because we're going to make some little trees back here. And if anything, I would probably, I'll show you what I'd do when I was painting a scene like this. Excuse me. I would grab a knife, and I'm going to get ready to put thinner in it, and I'd get me a little chunk of this, okay, and I'd move it somewhere over here so that when I put thinner in this, and I need to go back to the original consistency of paint, it's right here. This will be my thinner pile of paint. That way we don't get them mixed up. That's not a good thing to get your thick paint and your thin paint mixed up. Alright. And I'm just over here, got a little thinner. Again, if you need help with this step, just watch that video, because I really show it. I think it shows it fairly well how to do this. How to make little branches and things. And we're just going to make some little trees back in here. Just some trees. Again, remember, kick that brush up. We'll just pull up some trunks here. Pull up some trunks. And I always, a lot of times, just start with a big straight trunk. It gets it out of the way. And then it's easier to think about, okay, well, I'll just throw some little arms off of this guy. Right? And let them creep over the trees. These are background things, so they really don't matter all that much. They're going to look odd floating here for a minute until we put something else on the canvas, but hopefully you'll stick around. There's one. I don't know, maybe it needs one off of it like this. You know, whatever. These are in the background, so they don't have to be perfect. We just need them to be something. And maybe this next one I'm going to start this way. So I've got my brush tip down and just going to, well, that's a bigger chunk than I wanted, but that's okay. I've got a new setup behind me. The same setup, it's just painted. I finally quit being lazy and did something with it. I think it looks better. Let me know if it looks better. It should look better on camera. Right? And that's what we want. That's what we want. Oh, made a mistake. Look, oh, right there. Oh, craggly trees. They're just everywhere, these branches. Let's fix that top. Okay, there we go. Oh, it needs a few more, doesn't it? This little guy's here coming off of it. Maybe one goes out like that. Who knows? Okay, we'll put 3 or 4 of these in here. There's not much to this painting if I keep it the way I want to. Let's see, one more. And I do think that this one is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to really focus on bigger trunk and not to reload paint. If you make those noises and grunt and groan when you're doing a tree, you get a gnarlier tree. It works, I promise you. And you put little gnarly things on it there. It kind of comes out like that. I am in love with little easy 2-color, 3-color paintings. They're really effective, and they make nice impact versus having to have 18 colors out and paint something. Keep cleaning brushes as you dirty brushes and things. If you only got a couple colors, you can usually get away with just a couple brushes. I mean, so that's a big advantage to me. Not having to continuously clean and clean and clean. And we just want some gnarly things on this one. Oh, that one kind of like that. Gnarly branches are nice. I always got tickled. Bob said gnarly on one of the episodes, and he didn't know if he'd made up that word or if he'd heard it. So, still fun to watch Bob. Go to sleep to Bob. Just put Bob on if you're having a bad day. I don't quite have that appeal. There we go. There we go. That's about what I'm wanting. Again, we could play with these all dang day. And you'd be like, just finish the painting, Bram. There we go. Just something gnarly there. Alright. And then I think, maybe, well, I'll tell you what. I know it's going to take me a little longer, but I think just a couple back here maybe that we may see in the distance. And remember to keep adding paint thinner to your paint that you're painting little trees like this with, because just don't get it too thin, but you've got to always add a little bit every so often because your paint starts drying out, or I should say the thinner evaporates. Need a little something back here behind. Our big tree's going to go here on the right unless I change my mind. So this is just something that will mainly get covered up, so I'm not worried about what it looks like as much as some of the other ones. Or maybe one more. Maybe he's kind of spindly. Maybe just put some little things like this. You ever seen Bob do this? He just throw little lines in the sky. Not the sky, but the background. Because it gets covered up. And we'll have some in the foreground too. Sometimes you paint them quick, they work out better. And a couple in here even. Just faint little things, just running up through there. way off in the distance. All right, now we're gonna go to a different brush. I'm gonna grab my round. You could use a 1-inch if you wanted to. Big work just as well. Would work just as well. And I'm gonna go to a little bit of white and just something like that. You know, just a little bit on the brush. And then we'll get in my brown. A bit of my brown, and we'll cover up a good bit of this, but I mean a good bit of our trees. We just want some stuff in the background. And vary your color. That always looks better. I don't know, maybe there's something there. I'm just even going over the trunk of that tree. It do not matter. It do not matter. Look that knocks those trees into the painting now. And that's what we want. When I say that's what we want, that's what I want. You may not want that. But something like that. Something along those lines. Maybe there's a little more dark over here. I just add more dark to my color. And I mean, you could even do this and just with no paint hardly, just add some little trees and back in here. Don't cover up all your trees you painted, but just let stuff be back there. And maybe a little bit right there. That's probably good. Now we got a nice little background for our big tree. I imagine there's a path right there. So what we could do, it's always helpful to figure out where your path is. So it's back in between that one, I think. Take a little fan brush and just kind of move it along. Keep your path narrow back there. And then maybe the path comes down in here, and I'll grab a little bit of color. There we go. And it just, maybe it comes, and our trees will be over here, so I'm going to let it come behind that tree somewhere. And that should work. It should work. All right, I'm going to switch to another brush. I could use my fan. You could use the script liner, but for the bigger trees I want, I'm going to use the filbert. Okay. I'm going to go into straight brown, Van Dyke brown, or whatever brown you're using. And this is what I said. It doesn't really matter about those little guys. Oh goodness, this is always the danger point. I don't want the tree to come all the way down, about right there. Okay? Oh, it's going to be big. Try to save one or two of your little trees over here. Pretty straight too. Don't worry, we'll gnarly them up here with some branches and things. And then you're going to have some feet come off of him. Okay? Like that. It's got to be nice and dark for this to work out. Fix that foot right there. There we go. And make sure that your trunk is big enough to support the weight of the tree. So it shouldn't be taller at the top. Right? That will probably do. And then what we can do, take our filbert, load it back up, then figure out where we want some branches. Oh, this big guy there. There's one. Just draw them on here with this, and then we'll throw little limbs off of them. And this is a way to paint a huge tree. And, well, I want this one to be just a touch bigger even. Skinnier up the top, fatter. There we go, as it comes into the tree. And let's see, looking here. I've kind of got a reference tree that I'm painting. It's behind me. I don't have a good printer to print it out, so I have to look back here, figure out what I want. That one goes off. Now, not all the trees you're going to see all of, right? Or, sorry, not all the branches. And that's probably good for that. Now, set that brush down. Set that one down. And let's see. We'll turn on my light so I can see a little bit better. I don't think that's actually glaring. So we'll put that out of the way. Okay. Now we need some highlights on this guy. And then we'll do our limbs. I usually do the limbs after the highlights. So I want to marble my color. What does that mean when I marble my color? Let's show you. I throw my brushes off my palette. I'm going to marble it. I'm going to get it to several different colors out of those two. So darks and lights and all kinds of fun stuff. And get the dog hair out of my brush or knife. And I'm just going to kind of touch and just kind of pull. Touch, kind of pull. Just kind of, and I'll probably extend this out a little bit with my brush here just in a second. A little bit more dark in there. Just like that. And you get a nice effect. I keep getting dog hair. There we go. Go up here. Just kind of let that knife, if it's easier for you, just kind of go like this. Just kind of running that down through there. And adding some stuff. And also, if it's easier, do this. Just touch. Just show you touch, 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 touch. And then you can kind of pull and you get some nice little effects there. My chair is really squeaky today. Alright, let's keep going here. It needs a little bit more. Change the angle of your knife. So instead of pulling straight down, maybe turn the knife this way and pull over here and then come back. Now let's fix that. Let's fix that right now. I went too far over. We want our tree back here to be dark. There we go. Add some dark back to it. Alright. And we'll do our limbs at the end. Okay, well, I'm going to grab my filbert real quick. I think this needs a bigger foot, don't you? Something like that. And this one just kind of comes out like that. Alright. On this side it needs a lot more, or you could even touch it here. And that will kind of help it. There we go. You don't want it too bright. Maybe there's a little bit on this one. Maybe. Just kind of move that paint around on there. Alright, now we've got to make room to put my palette down. And work. Okay, now we got to grab our script liner again. Grab some thinner. Grab some thinner. Load up a good bit. And we got to start thinking about limbs coming off of this guy. There's one. There's another one. Then again, remember if you watch that video, just always kind of pull them back into the tree. Just always pull them back. And this can have as many little things off of it as you want. There's a little one there. And over here, maybe, oh, got too much thinner. Maybe this one just kind of goes like that. That's our W. We may not make it. May get covered. Alright. There we go. We know we need one here. There we go. And remember, if you need to go back over, be careful. I need to darken it up a little bit. And set it down in my tree. Comes out of the tree. Alright, another one here. Goes off the camera. Canvas, not a camera. And just pull some off the tree. You've seen on gnarly trees before. They kind of have all kinds of little weird things on them. I don't like this branch here, so I'm going to pull it into the tree a little bit more, like that. Now I'm going to grab my knife. A little bit of brown and white, again marbled. A little more brown, there we go. And another one more neat, and you can touch these on here, just touch. Just kind of touch. A little bit of light zinging in there on that one. Okay. Maybe over here. I don't know. The light source is probably right there. So actually this side should get a little bit of something. Maybe this one too. Just a touch. So they don't feel left out. And then if we wanted to, we could just take a little bit and mix back in with our paint. I'm just touching it on. Just touching. And you can slide it just like I did over here. Like that. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, that gives it something else. Maybe in that little shadowy area. Right there, don't care for that. There we go. Let's see here. Maybe up down the tree a little bit here. Again, just throw some dark back in. And I'm just touching, I'm not pulling this time like I did before. Letting that brown mix with that white again. And that will add a little character back to our tree. And you could sit here and put way more branches coming off that tree than I did, but I think that's enough for a video. Get one you don't like, just do it like that. Alright. Okay. Now, let's go back to our little round or 1 inch, whatever you're using. We said we're using two colors, white and brown. I'm going to take a little browny white. And just back in here, maybe there's a little bit of something. It's not snow. It's just a color. The white and the brown together. Add another layer a little closer. And over here, I like we got in our tree. Alright. And then, we should do, where's my brown? There we go. Take our original brush and darken this a little bit. Throw that in. If I get a little bit of the tree, I don't care. There we go. Because we'll just throw some little stuff here off of that tree. Get a little brighter because the sun's right there. There we go. And now we'll just Now we're going to tap in some grassy stuff. Here and there, just for some effect. Playing with the colors, contrast. Get a little brighter. Again, I don't think it's a snow. It's just something. Grab some of that tree stuff and we're going to scrub in a little path here. That starts back there. Darker around here. There we go. Come around our tree. A bit of this, a bit of this. And just kind of pull a little path. A highlight on it, I guess I should say. More here, just a little bit. There we go. We'll look at everything. And we decide we need another tree. And that tree goes right here. On the edge. This one should come down a little further, maybe. Yeah, okay. Darken this one up. Maybe give it a little foot if we want to. Now, this tree should have a little highlight on it. I can do it better this way. So I'm just going to touch. Just kind of put a little something. Not much. Not much at all. Remember, our sun's kind of in the middle there, so I'm keeping my highlight on the, let's run that down through there. There we go. And then if I need to, I can kind of touch it, the edges, just to kind of mess them up so it doesn't look like perfect. Look like it's perfect. Alright. And this one will be a different tree. So we'll paint a couple little branches on it. As soon as I find my script liner, there it is. Okay. I'm going to have little branches that kind of swoop out like this. And kind of hold up some foliage. This is why I said it didn't really matter what those trees in the background look like, because we're going to cover up a good bit of them. Just something like that. Alright, we'll go to, since my filbert's laying out and it's dirty, we'll just kind of use the filbert for this. Something like that. Actually, let's do this. Let's kind of just push up on it. Like that. The fan is probably more effective at this, but I'm just using whatever's out. That's a good thing. You guys can watch me and then do whatever you want to. Use whatever brush you think would work. Like that. A little bit right there. There. I'm just pushing up with this brush. I hope you can see that. Hey, there's one more right there. Yeah, that knocks that tree back a little bit. And then, there's always an and then, right? I'll push a couple of darker things right here. Take a little more brown. A little bit more brown. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Kind of near a tree there, maybe. Maybe we'll knock that foot down. And then maybe even back here. Kind of hide our foot there. Oh, maybe there's a little something there even. I don't like those white ones. Take them out. Take some of them out. And really put a lot right there. This is really an exercise in color. What works, what will show up, what won't. And what we could do, maybe, we said it wasn't snow. What if we, just here and there, put something on these. A brown white. I don't know that I like it. There we go. Just catch a few little things like that. And let's see what we're at here. We're at 33 minutes. Shouldn't take that long. But we're having fun. We can always watch this. There's a little branch that lives in there. I think not thin enough, so thin it down again. There we go. Make sure you load it up properly too. It helps. Something like that. Just a little bitty guy. There. Doesn't look half bad. Now that I'm going to mess with my path, and then we'll call this done. A little more white in there so it shows up. There we go. And it goes back in there somewhere. It's a quiet path. Yeah, there we go. I'm just pulling the knife to the side. There we go. This would be pretty in just black and white. This would be pretty in any color combination you can think of. Make that path a little wider right there. There we go. Yeah, I got it, guys. I think that looks pretty good. And don't want to get too wide over here, but maybe just a smidge. Yeah. And then I always, when I do a path, I always like to do this. Go back and make sure you don't need to knock it down just a little bit. Like right here. Don't care for that. Right there. Got into my bush. Got into my bush. Alright. Go to the next step. Make a little paint. And put us a little signature on here. Worst part of any painting. Alright, there is a little brown and white that hopefully you guys like. If not, change it. If not, don't paint it. Like that. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Everybody stay well, be well, and be kind. Thank you.